Iggy is a great person. Talking to her off stream, being with her off stream, just seeing the type of person she is. She's so full of life.
I was never into her. And it's like, people be telling me, I like females.
After months of whispers, it looks like Iggy Azalea might actually be dating Twitch star Neon. And the internet is already buzzing about how Playboi Carti could be losing his mind over it. Now, Iggy and Neon's connection didn't start in the romance lane. Back in September 2023, she signed him to a multi-million-dollar deal with her motherland crypto casino. On paper, it was all business, but fans quickly noticed sparks flying. The two were seen together on joint streams, yacht trips, and even casual shopping sprees. Their chemistry was undeniable, and speculation turned into full-blown dating rumors. Things escalated in August when Neon split from his longtime girlfriend, influencer Sam Frank. The breakup happened just days after a viral yacht stream with Iggy, and the timing had people raising eyebrows. While both insisted the breakup was about personal growth, fans weren't buying it. The internet was flooded with comments suggesting that Iggy had stepped into the picture and applied pressure. Meanwhile, Iggy hasn't exactly been shy about her standards. She's joked openly that any man trying to keep up with her lifestyle needs to make tens of millions a year. For a lot of people, that was her way of saying she doesn't play small when it comes to relationships. But seeing her spending this much time with a 19-year-old streamer had folks wondering if maybe she's making an exception. Now here's where things get really messy, because Playboi Carti is still in the background. Remember, he and Iggy share a son, Onyx, and their breakup has been anything but peaceful. Iggy herself has spoken about the toxic pattern she endured during their relationship.
So much. Someone saying, tell Playboi Carti to drop. I don't speak to him, my love. We haven't heard from that man in over like 6 months. We don't know where he is. I don't have no idea, have no association.
She described feeling manipulated and disrespected, with Carti allegedly choosing the streets and partying over family life. Those scars are still fresh, and they paint a picture of a man who doesn't handle rejection or being replaced very well. So imagine Carti hearing that Iggy might be entertaining a public fling with someone like Neon. This isn't just some anonymous rebound. Neon is a rising online star with a huge following, viral streams, and a fan base that eats up every detail of his personal life. The attention around this rumored romance is massive, and that's exactly the kind of spotlight Carti hates, unless he's the one controlling it. And if history is any clue, Carti doesn't take these situations lightly. He's been known to lash out, to get possessive, and to stir drama when Iggy tries to move on. Fans still remember her speaking out about how difficult co-parenting became because of the lack of support. The fury writes itself. Carti's brand thrives on mystery and detachment. He's the king vamp, keeping his personal life low-key while his music cultivates a cult-like fan base. But Iggy and Neon's playful streams strip away that control, turning the narrative into something Carti can't spin. For a man already painted as toxic by his ex, this is the ultimate trigger, and fans know it. After all, this is the same man she once accused of being selfish and disrespectful. If he couldn't stand sharing the spotlight before, what makes anyone think he'll quietly sit back now? At the same time, Iggy doesn't seem fazed. She's living her life, securing her business moves, and keeping her standards high. For her, being linked to Neon may be a mix of business, fun, and maybe more. But for Carti, the mere idea that another man, especially a viral young streamer, is stepping into the picture could be nothing short of infuriating. So here's the bottom line. The rumors of Iggy Azalea dating Neon are fueling one of the juiciest storylines in celeb gossip right now. Fans are eating up the yacht photos, the shopping sprees, and the streams. And Carti, he's quiet, too quiet, which is exactly why everyone's bracing for what comes next.
Ned Fulmer's return to the public eye with his new podcast, Rock Bottom, might carry his name, but the debut episode belonged to Ariel Fulmer, as she made it very clear that she has not forgiven Ned. You'll be shocked to hear what she had to say about his betrayal and how Ned is now dealing with his new life. Ned Fulmer sat across from his estranged wife for a raw, hour-long conversation about betrayal, heartbreak, and the slow process of building a new life. And while Ned spoke about the regret of blowing up his own life, Ariel mainly guided the discussion as she made it clear why their marriage is finished for good. Ariel revealed that the decision to speak publicly wasn't Ned's at all, as she wanted to be the one to lead the conversation of where they each have taken their new lives, saying, "It's clear that Ariel's idea hasn't necessarily been about giving Ned a platform, as it was more about reclaiming her own story after years of whispers and speculation." She then delved into exactly how things fell apart due to Ned's actions with a very confident front.
I looked over to you in the driver's seat and I was like, why was Grace in New York? Like, I didn't realize Grace was in New York. Why was she, referring to that picture that I had sent to you? And you looked over at me with this look on your face, and it was like the veil just fell. I knew in my brain.
While she initially seemed to try to convince herself that it was innocent, she made it clear that she had to accept that she had indeed been betrayed.
In my brain that something was going on, but I just sort of refused to believe it. And then when I saw that, like, just wildly guilty look on your face, like you wanted to tell me something.
That shock was only the beginning, as well as Ariel also went into details about how the paparazzi wouldn't leave the two alone following the news, especially as there were many photos that tried to paint a different narrative than what was actually going on between them, especially with photos where it looked like the two were smiling together. As she said, those pictures didn't show what was happening when we closed the door. She described carrying the weight of Ned's guilt while trying to keep life steady for their two young sons, as it was incredibly difficult to explain why their father wasn't home. When Ned asked if she's forgiven him, Ariel didn't flinch, as she honestly admitted that she hasn't and seemingly never would. And while some days she can still share a laugh with him and be friendly, for the sake of their friendship and kids, things will definitely never be the same again.
How can you forgive somebody for lying to you?
Ned, voice cracking more than once, acknowledged that he broke her trust as well as his co-workers, friends, and family, something he blamed on his self-destructive behavior, admitting he let feelings of dissatisfaction with his life.
Then, rather than being able to talk about it or to confront those feelings, I wanted to. I guess I was too afraid to say how I was actually feeling.
But Ariel steered the conversation away from excuses, as she wished to lay out the exact reason why the marriage ended and why she's moving forward. Part of moving on also means living separately and establishing boundaries. Ariel confirmed they no longer share a home and that her focus is on building a life defined by honesty and independence. She's also stepped back from her own podcast, You Can Sit With Us, choosing to spend more time with close friends who she claims can actually see the real her and also hold her accountable for her actions. Despite the heavy subject matter, Ariel never sounded bitter about any of it, as she also talked about how she learned to trust her instincts and that missing the signs wasn't something she saw as weakness, but love and trust. She also talked about how love sometimes can also mean letting go. Ned admitted he initially wanted nothing to do with social media after leaving the Try Guys in 2022, calling the internet not particularly beneficial to his mental health, but over time he felt a pull to create again. Ariel didn't try to stop him either. However, she insisted that if he returned, they should confront the past directly, which was the main reasoning behind the podcast episode.